Let's jump into the formal part of the bill now. These are the actual text of the bill. As the Quebec nation has its own characteristics, one of which is its civil law tradition, distinct social values, and a specific history that have led it to develop a particular attachment to state laicity. Okay, that's the preamble. Can you doubt it? More to the point, can any liberal like Anthony Housefather doubt it? A liberal who has spent a generation telling us that Quebec is a distinct society? That's all they're saying here. Let me read some more. As the Quebec nation attaches importance to the equality of men and women and men. You know, I think most people still agree with that in Canada, but I'm guessing that in a few years to say that will be Islamophobic. Okay, so far it's all just throat clearing. Here's the actual law. That was preamble. Here's the law. Section 1, the state of Quebec is a lay state. That means secular. 2, the laicity, that means the secular nature, of the state is based on the following principles. Number 1, the separation of state and religions. Number 2, the religious neutrality of the state. Number 3, the equality of all citizens. And number 4, freedom of conscience and freedom of religion. Okay, so what does that mean? It sounds pretty good to me. Now, the law explains it a bit. Let me read some more. State laicity, again, that's a funny word. It just means secularism. It means it's just not a religious state. State laicity requires parliamentary, government, and judicial institutions to comply with the principles that they've outlined. I just outlined the principles. So you have to be religiously neutral. You have to look religiously neutral too. When we talk about racist ethnic cleansing, where the heck did that mayor get that from? Then the law lists various institutions that are covered. And then it says this. The persons listed in Schedule 2 are prohibited from wearing religious symbols in the exercise of their functions. Pretty clear. And you know what? Pretty uncontroversial to me. You don't see police officers pulling you over for speeding wearing a huge honking crucifix on a necklace, do you? No, because that's not a uniform man. They have to be a neutral agent of the state. Let me read some more. Personnel members of a body, a government body, must exercise their functions with their face uncovered. Yeah, are you shocked? Let me read some more. Similarly, persons who present themselves to receive a service from a personnel member of the body must have their face uncovered where doing so is necessary to allow their identity to be verified for security reasons. Persons who fail to comply with that obligation may not receive the service requested where applicable. I'll read a little more. For the purposes of the second paragraph, persons are deemed to be presenting themselves to receive a service when they are interacting or communicating with a personnel member of a body in the exercise of the personal member's functions. Okay, I'm getting a bit technically here, but I can sum it up. Take off your mask. You go into the driver's license office, take off your mask. You're going to a government hospital, take off your mask. You're in Canada now. You don't have to be worried about the religious police beating you anymore. You're free now. You're in Canada now, unless you're worried about that here in Canada too, about being beaten or attacked by some religious police if you take off your mask. And if that's the case, then we have a big problem now, don't we? Oh, and I think maybe we do, my friends. I think maybe we do. Maybe that's what the old Anglo-Jewish liberals are afraid of. 1.3 million Muslims in Canada. Lots of nice folks, lots of liberal folks, lots of folks fleeing Sharia law. But a fair share of Adil Charkawis now too. Lots of Sharia law, lots of polygamous marriages, lots of Niqabs and burqas now. Here's how it went down in France. Look at this. A survey conducted in France in May 2003 found that 77% of girls wearing the hijab said they did so because of physical threats from Islamist groups. That's 16 years ago. More than 3/4 of women wore it just because they were worried of physical threats. What percentage do you think it is here in Canada? What percentage is acceptable to you? Now, most of the rest of the law is technical provisions amending other laws, but then it lists the people who were referred to earlier. I mentioned the different schedules or lists of categories of public servants. You could say basically covers all people who work for the government of Quebec. This is the list of them. Departments of the government, cities, commissions, schools that take money from the government, social services agencies that take money from the government. And then Schedule 2 lists particular jobs. Judges, prosecutors, cops, things like that. And then Schedule 3 lists what they call persons considered to be personnel members of a body for the purposes of measures relating to services with face uncovered. So this includes provincial legislators, it includes doctors, dentists who take government money childcare places that take government money. So this actually isn't a burqa ban. I call it a burqa ban. It's not a burqa ban, is it? There will be as many burqas on the street in Montreal after this becomes law as before. There will be women in burqas running daycares. They just won't get government from the secular money from the secular government anymore. That's why this law is called what it is, an act respecting the laicity of the state. In that way, it's a bit of a cop-out. They're really only saying Quebec's government is secular. They're too scared to say Quebec society at large is secular or even just not Islamic. They don't have that courage. This is a tiny baby step. No burqas on cops. Okay, thanks, you're so brave. No burqas on doctors in government-funded hospitals. You want to wear a burqa? Fine, you can. Just don't expect someone to pay you with tax dollars from the secular state. So it's actually not as bold as you'll find in many other jurisdictions. I mentioned France, where the burqa is actually banned in public. In several Arab countries, too. So that's the law. That's Bill 21. No mention of ethnicity, race, or religion. I checked 3 times. Other than all religions must be absent from the government equally, except for things of a historical nature. That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest, and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.